Hey, and welcome to episode 151 of Meeple to Meeple. On today's episode, it is number 8 in my content creator community series. Joining me today is someone who champions community at every turn. And what I love about her content is how inviting and intentional it is. Her content isn't just cardboard and cameras, it's connection, conversation, and a commitment to inclusivity through thoughtful posts, cozy game snaps, and insightful blog pieces. She shines a light on how board games build belonging and bring people together across tables and time zones. I'm going to talk about her journey as a gamer and a creator and what the board game scene looks like in Australia, where she's from, and how she uses her platforms to foster unity and connection. So let's go. Bree, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I am great. I am so glad to have you on and I get a chance to know you a little bit and share your story. And you're the first in the series from Australia, so I'm really excited to have you represent.
Yeah, it's so good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, And so we're really excited to have you. And I know we've got some really great stuff to talk about. Recently, I know you were at PAX Australia, so we'll
Yeah.
certainly talk about that. I'm really excited. You did some coverage just recently at UPost, so that's pretty cool. So let me dive right in and tell me, what was the first board game that you ever played as a child?
Gosh, as a child,
Mm-hmm.
first one I have real sort of memory of would be like Trouble, that one where you're like
Yeah,
moving around the board with the poppy dice in the middle.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I haven't thought about Trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. That and the
Yeah,
Kaplunk with the one where you pull the sticks out with the marbles in the top.
stop it. Oh
Yeah.
my. Wow, those are two great classics. Man,
Yeah.
I haven't thought about either of those games in
Yeah.
forever
I just remember my mum hated the popping dice in the middle. That was, yeah.
because it was loud when it snapped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any siblings that you played games with as a kid or?
Yeah. A brother, we used to play games occasionally, but they weren't super big when we were
Right,
younger. So, yeah. Just
right,
every now and then.
right. What about the first game that got you into the modern hobby?
So it was a game called Zombies. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
I do know zombies. Yeah.
Yeah. When I bring it up to people, they generally don't know it. But yeah, our friend invited me up to her house just to stay for her with her for a little while. And she was like, "Let's play some board games." And I was like, "All right, sure." Thinking, like my experience with board games was like Monopoly and things like that when I was a kid.
Sure.
And then she brings out all these amazing games that I've never heard of before, and one of them was Zombies, and I realized what board games could be, and I was hooked
Yeah.
from that moment.
Because if
Yeah,
I recall, these are like big cardboard tiles,
yeah, yeah,
real thin cardboard, but you laid them out. I seem to remember that the map could get really big.
yeah. And you
I remember playing it
basically
on the
trying to get away
floor.
from the zombies and trying to get
Hmm.
to the helipad. Yeah.
Right. And because, like I said, I remember playing it on the floor because the table was too small.
I don't think our map got quite that big, but yeah,
Right.
there are expansions and things that you can get for it. So.
There are a lot of expansions. Gosh, that was were the zombie, like the little miniatures, were they like gray and black ones? Weren't they different colored?
And I'm pretty sure you could get glow in the dark ones as well.
Stop it. Of course you could, right?
Yeah, yeah, because why not?
Right. So so when was that? When did you play
Ah,
zombies?
I think that would have been like 2010, 2011.
Yeah. Okay. So you play zombies with your friend and then you go out and buy
Carcassonne was my first. Yeah,
Carcassonne. Yet
yeah,
another tile laying game. Yeah. That's a
yeah,
good one.
yeah. And yeah, watching like Will Witten's tabletop and then just,
So, it's interesting. I I thought it was just me. I don't know why I thought it was just me. Will Wheaton is such a famous and popular
Hmm.
personality, but man, I've heard that story a lot from people in this series. Like the last 3 or 4 weeks, everyone's like, I watched Tabletop with Will Wheaton. It is sad that that show is no longer
Yeah,
on, because man, there's been so many games since it stopped airing.
that was one of the first really places that I went to look for like how to play and like learning about new games that I
Yeah.
didn't know of.
Yeah.
And then, of course, found Watch It Played, and it just really
Yep.
expanded from there. Yeah.
Yes. It really just exploded. Greg from Get Into Games, we were chatting.
Hmm.
Gosh, I think it was what, episode 138 or 9. We were talking about the honeymoon period when you only had like 20 games in your collection and every game was
Mm,
so amazing.
yeah.
And then you get overwhelmed and you're like, whoa, I got to start selling games, right? And making room for more.
Hmm.
And
That like would have been around that time too. Yeah.
sure. Yep. That's when you were buying every game you could.
Yeah. Yeah. I ran
So,
a game group then too. So I was buying things to play with people at the group. And then after that, went through a stage of like selling everything because I'm like, this really isn't my interest.
oh my gosh, that's amazing. So in all this is typically a controversial question, oddly controversial, although I've had some interesting answers recently. Have you developed a favorite player color?
Yeah. Purple. Yeah.
Purple. Good for you. Good for you. So, what is it about purple? Because it's not in every game, right? Not every game has a purple
Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
So, what is it about purple for you that attracts you to it?
So my favorite color used to be purple,
Okay.
and then I've recently gravitated towards green. And green would probably be my player color, but my best friend's player color is green, so I opted for purple instead.
Because it
I'm
used to be
nice.
your
I'll let her.
favorite color,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
went
So
you
I'll go
went
for the
back.
next best. Yeah, yeah,
I love that's great. Okay.
yeah.
That's a much better answer than just I don't, you know, I either get my favorite color is blue, yeah, whatever, and I don't really get a reason, or I don't prefer any color at all, which is kind of interesting because well, there's purple in Carcassonne, yeah, yeah, there's purple in
Yeah,
Carcassonne.
there's not a lot of the older games don't have purple. Some of the newer games are bringing it in more and taking out
They
some of
are
the classic colors, as you would say.
right. So what was that journey from? You go to your friend's house, you play zombies, you get exposed to this hobby, you go pick up Carcassonne.
Hmm.
What were those early years like for you? Like, you know, how many games were you buying? How voracious were you gaming? I know you said you ran a gaming group. Like, how
Hmm.
did that happen? Right? You don't just wake up one day and go, I'm running a gaming.
Yeah, there was lots of buying, just like everything in the early
Yeah.
days. But actually, the game group actually started because I worked with someone else who really enjoyed board games as well, and so
Okay.
we ran a board game group through our work. We had a function space at our work, and we just used that space to run a board game group.
That's convenient.
Yeah, super convenient. It was quite a large space too. So yeah,
Because
we just
space is at a premium, right? Not just on the table, but
yeah, yeah, yeah. Came with tables and everything, so it was quite convenient. So we just amassed all our board games together and took them, and yeah,
is that game group still together?
it is not. No, we actually lost the space, and we've since parted ways. Yeah,
Is there a new gaming group that you are championing, or have you just moved past that entirely?
I've joined other board game groups since then.
Oh, that's cool. So I think I know the answer to this next question. Do you have a favorite board game mechanic?
I mean, yeah, I like so
Well,
many
then,
though.
sure. And I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell everyone else when I ask this question. You can't just list off all of them.
No, if I had to pick, I'd probably say worker placement.
You would. That was not what I
Yeah,
expected. Okay. So tell me why worker placement?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of my games are, and specifically maybe dice worker placement.
Okay. Which
Yeah,
is a completely different beast and very
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I just think, I don't know, I just think it's really interesting. And I don't know if I could specifically say why. I just think it just itches my brain in the right way. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a fun puzzle to solve. One
You
of
didn't
my
know this was
favorite
gonna be a
games.
therapy session, did
No,
you?
one of my favorite games is actually, I don't know if you can see it on the shelf or not, is Kingsburg.
I've never played it, but I know about it.
Yeah. And so just that
Is
having
that a
to,
dice worker placement?
yeah. So just having to like figure out the best way to place your dice to get the resources and having to pivot when someone else takes that space that you need. And the same thing with worker placement as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dice worker placement, it adds an extra layer of
Hmm.
complexity, doesn't it?
Yes,
Right?
correct.
You
Yeah.
know, but dice worker placement, the number of pips on the dice add that extra layer, right?
Correct. Yes.
You gotta be more calculating. Yeah. Yeah. Do you usually win when you win games at dice worker placement game?
No, I'm just playing for the fun.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love that's great. Yeah, no, that I get that too. I feel that way as well. I'm probably most competitive when I'm playing games with my wife, but
Hmm.
otherwise, I think I just want to have fun, and more importantly, I want to make sure the people at the table have fun, you know? Unfortunately, if you're a highly competitive individual, and it's really hard for me to make sure you're having fun if you're losing. I can't control that.
No.
So, next question is in two parts, and there's a reason. Do you have a favorite game of all time? That's part one.
Hmm.
Part two is because I realize how challenging and difficult a question that is.
Hmm.
Favorite game of all time when there's thousands upon thousands of board games. How can you choose? I get that, which is why I asked this second part. Do you have a favorite game right now that's hitting
Mm.
your table a lot? So you can
Okay.
answer either of
Yeah.
those or both.
Mm. Okay. A little bit of a giveaway. So of all time, because I'm currently doing my
Okay.
top 10. Yeah. It's taking me all year to do my top 10 though. So, you know, um, all time would be Five Tribes.
Yeah. That is a
Yeah.
good game. I haven't played that in years.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
again, that worker placement, and it's got lots of different ways to score points as well. So another thing that I like in game, lots of that point
Yep.
salad.
Yeah. That's really good. It's all about the victory points in that game.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about the victory points in every game, but Five Tribes is particularly unique.
Yeah.
It's really been a
That
long time since I played that.
yeah. And just the
Yeah.
ever changing state of the board as well, and constantly
Right?
having to like pivot your strategy.
And you don't, if I recall, you don't have a player color. Like the
No.
colors of the meeples on the board activate a certain
Yeah, it's that
power
last
or
meeple that you're placing. Yeah.
right. Yeah. It's like if you pick a tile and you pick up all of the same color and then you just
Hmm.
kind of right? Yep.
Yeah, so you're picking up all the meeples and dropping them, and then it's the last colored meeple that you
That's
drop.
what
You pick up all of that color.
yeah. Wow. That's a really good game I haven't thought about in a long time. And that's your
Yeah.
favorite of all
It's
time. Wow.
yeah, it's really good.
I mean, that's a solid game. So does it still hit your table pretty regularly?
Not as often as I would like. Comes out every now and then. I think it's just a case of like there's so many new games like constantly needing my attention. Um,
Yes. Yes,
but nothing gets
absolutely.
played as many times as I would like. Yeah.
So we have a commitment, my wife and I. We try to
Hmm.
play every game in our collection a minimum of once every calendar year.
Hmm.
That helps us to determine what games to get rid of, right?
Hmm.
Usually when you get midway through the year and we're at like 60 or 70%, it's like, okay, well, let's look at the other 30 that's left unplayed. Why hasn't it hit the table, right? And so
Hmm.
we can have real conversations about each title in our collection and say, do we really need to keep this? And then we can also track, because my wife tracks all the stats. She'll track and say, we've been playing this game a lot, so it's pretty, going to be up there, and we're gonna stick with it. So, yeah, it's interesting. We are currently at 90.9% of our
Well, that's
collection
impressive.
has been played. Yep.
Well, that's good. It's a
We've
good
got
strategy too.
yeah. We've got we've got 3 games left that are kind of Halloweenish, Halloween themed,
Hmm.
spooky themed, that we'll knock out in the next few weeks here as we approach Halloween. I realize that we're approaching Christmas as the time you're listening this episode, but tough. Yeah, so I think we have a total of 27 titles like left,
Hmm.
and then we're, free to play whatever we want, you know.
That's really impressive. Well done.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge. How many
Hmm.
games do you have in your collection, do you know?
I do not.
You don't.
I
You haven't
don't.
counted. You haven't counted.
Last I checked, it would have been around 150 with expansions,
Okay.
but I think it's a bit
Okay.
more than that now. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's a lot to manage.
Hmm.
Seems to be kind of the threshold for my wife and I. We try to, I mean, it's not an exact science, right? It's not like we buy a
Hmm.
game and we're going to sell a game, but we do try to, yeah, and sometimes we go up and sometimes we go down. It kind of
Yeah.
depends.
I regularly go through and try and like keep the collection in check and sell things that aren't getting played or that just aren't like sort of my interest anymore.
Sure. So I want to ask you about, and this is kind of the core of the conversation here, right? It's what it's all about, community, and we're all content creators. So at some point, you shifted from just being a casual gamer to a content creator, right? Tell me about that moment. What was your first post? At what point did you decide to get really intentional and, dive all in? Because you're pretty successful right now. You got a lot going on.
Yeah, thank you. um, so I think I just kind of wanted to reach out and meet more people who like the same kind of thing. I was sort of feeling a little bit like I didn't have a lot of connections in like my immediate circle who wanted to play games. And I just wanted to see if I could find some more people who liked board games as much as I did. And I didn't know whether like Instagram would be that place where I would find that. But I just thought, it's worth a try. And yeah, I've just found an amazing community online of people who share that passion that I do. So it's been really good.
Um, and have you plugged in with a lot of local gamers in your area, or has it been a lot of like the bigger community?
So it's kind of hard in Australia where it's a big country. There's not a lot of um, people who are doing what I do.
Right.
And the ones that we are very spread out. So I have connected with people who do what I do, but they unfortunately are in other states. I have been lucky enough to actually go and visit them and meet them. I actually just went to PAX recently with one of them, so that was quite nice.
So you are in Melbourne, right? And that is, if I'm looking at a map of Australia, it's on the eastern side.
Yeah,
And is it
down south.
it's down south.
Yeah, just
Okay.
above Tasmania.
Okay. Okay. Tasmania being the little triangular shaped island.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it does exist. It gets left off maps, but it is there.
It's true. It's true. How big is Melbourne? Do you know? Do you have off the
It,
top of your head?
off the top of my head, no, not really. It's a pretty big city though. Yeah,
Um, I'm just wondering if it's like, like 200,000, or is it like a million people, or
I couldn't tell you. Sorry.
yeah. I'm trying to get an idea of how big it is, like what American or European city I could compare it
Yeah.
to get kind of an idea of how many people. Um, so when you say that the your local content creators and gamers are far away, because this was a really interesting conversation with Iris from Crimson Board Games just a few episodes ago. How far away are you talking about? Like, how long a drive to the nearest content creator or gamer friend?
So content creators, like
Hmm.
8 hour drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think there are maybe a couple who live a little bit closer, maybe within the state, but I don't know them as well. So
But no,
yeah,
that's pretty substantial drive.
yeah, and I've done
Yeah.
it. I've driven there.
Yep.
It was a
So
good trip.
the joke is, so for Iris, who lives in the Netherlands, she's like, they're like 40 minutes away, and that's just far.
I mean, a 40-minute drive is a quick drive for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the Netherlands is small, but then so is the UK.
Hmm.
Back in the early days when Gareth and I were doing this, we would talk about it all the time. Is like one of the things I really like about all of our UK gaming friends is that they can get together and do these one day gaming, get-togethers with all their
Yeah.
gamer friends, and almost all of them are content creators as well because they can drive an hour, 2 hours. Someone may drive 3 hours tops. The public transit system in England is just fantastic, although they would say it's not. But I'm from the US. We do not have a very good mass transit system, and everything's too far away, right? I mean, yeah. If you were to drive to Perth on the opposite side of Australia, how long would that take, do you reckon?
That'd be days, I think. Yeah.
Yeah? Because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, because it's like 22 to 25 hours from one end of the United States to the other. So I mean, it's a long time. Um, Luckily, we've got some friends and content creators who are like an hour to an hour and a half away. So that's, or sometimes 3 hours. That's about the max I would drive to get together with members of the community, except for big conventions, obviously.
Hmm.
Yeah. So what about when you decided, okay, you wanted to connect with a larger community? You're on Instagram. You started gaming. You played zombies in 2010. So you're on Instagram. I imagine this is what 20. Actually, I think I know the answer to that. You got on Instagram in 2022. So you haven't been on very long.
No.
So you had been gaming for a long time
Hmm.
before you decided to reach out to the community and become a content creator. Yeah. Yeah, sure. 20, because I did my research. um, yeah. So okay, so 2022.
Hmm.
Um, so what was the first post? Like I'm like so for me, I was on Instagram in 2013, like when it
Hmm.
was just photos and it was bare minimum brand new. And I didn't know what I was doing. And I had like 8 followers, whatever. And it wasn't until 2017 where I started meeting other gamers and I saw that they were posting pictures of board games. That never occurred to me, right? And so we had just finished playing a game of Pandemic, my wife and with her mother. And so I set it on the table with my coffee cup and I took a picture outside because it was a nice sunny day. And I was like, that's not a bad picture. And that just kind of started it all. So what was how did you approach your first content? What
Yeah.
what
So
did you take a picture of? Why? All that. Yeah.
I used to take photos of board games and post them on my personal Instagram and didn't get much love with them. So um, I pretty much just started doing that with this Instagram and would take photos of the games that I was playing at friend's house and post it on the Instagram. And then it just kind of evolved from there, moving more in towards like from talking about the game, saying what it was, into like doing a little bit more of a review of the game.
Right.
and saying whether I liked it or not, or saying, hey, these games would be good for Christmas gifts, or, things like that.
So your first post when you created your new account, was it based on the quality of the photograph that you took, or was it based on the content of the game that you took a picture of? Like, how did you approach that? And maybe you still approach it this way.
I think it was just more wanting to share the game and like let people know about the game. And that's always been my focus, I think. Like, hey, these games are out there. I enjoy playing them and you might like to play them too. So less about this is an amazing photo or
Right.
yeah, but more about this is an amazing game and I really enjoy it and I think
Sure.
you might too. Yeah.
My photographs are terrible. I don't take very good photographs. I can't do it. Not compared to some other content creators. So
It just comes with practice,
that's
I
kind of what
think.
it does. It does, but I just don't have the eye.
I
I'm
look
I'm
back
more
at
of a
my,
verbal.
yeah, I look back at my original, like my early stuff and I think, wow, like I've come so far from what I was first posting.
Yep. So once you really dove into it, you started making connections with the community.
Hmm.
Was there anyone, and it can be this time you can give me multiple answers, but what were there any particular content creators in the community that really inspired you to be like, I'm going to start doing more reviews, or I'm going to do more, you know, any sources of inspiration?
Yeah, there were two in particular that really or actually probably three in
Okay.
particular that really took me under their wing. The first one that really reached out to me was Talia of Lala Games.
Okay. Yeah.
She's another Australian content creator, and she reached out to me, and then she introduced me to Craig of Get Into Games, and
Good
then
man. Good man.
we're now besties, and Chris of Magic and Meeples as well. So yeah,
Chris
those
is
three.
lovely.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
so it's interesting. So Chris and I actually were contributing writers on a board game that was published um, last year. It's called
nice.
it's called Prestige. I wish I could remember what episode. I had Fritz, the designer, on. She had mentioned, I think she told me about it. It's like, hey, there's this game designer. He's looking for material, and it's like a city building game with cards. And so Chris suggested that I reach out to him. I did, and I was very literal and academic. So like, because I studied ancient Greek and Roman history, and he said it was kind of in an ancient city setting, but it wasn't a specific city in this game. So I was like, all these like historical events in Rome, and he was like, I need you to just pull back a little bit. But he was very considerate. Yeah, and Chris and I chat a little bit as often as we can.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
yeah,
she's so
we like
lovely.
yeah, she is fantastic. I really would love to get together with her and play a game.
Hmm. Yeah, same, but
And
there's a whole
I
ocean between
know,
us, so
I know, and I live in the same country as her.
yeah.
I yeah, that's really great. Yeah, good. You will have to tell Talia to, we'll have to connect, because I'm always
Hmm.
looking for more and more content creators, and I don't have a relationship with her. I think I follow her on Instagram. This community is so big. It is so diverse. It's so hard to keep up with everybody, right?
Yeah, yeah. She's busy
Yeah.
being a new mum at the moment, so
So, do you have any tips for how you manage to maintain your relationships with everyone in the community, given that there's so many of us?
yeah. It's a good question. I think just like reaching out to people as often as possible.
But that's
And
like a
just if
full time job.
it is, yeah, literally. Sometimes I would literally just go through my messages and be like, oh, I haven't messaged that person in a while. Reach out to
Yeah.
them and see how they're doing.
Yep.
I guess just like you would any other friend.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
and and that's what I try and do. Like I will try and form friendships with people, not just the little associations, but yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'm all about the relationships.
Mm.
Yeah, which is why I have a podcast, because so I don't take very good pictures. I love to talk, and I'm all about relationships. I should
Yeah,
do a
same.
podcast. Oh my gosh. Do you have a favorite platform? I mean, are you on other platforms besides Instagram, or Instagram is your primary?
Yeah, Instagram is pretty much my primary. I signed up to like Threads and Blue Sky, I think, but I just don't have the time or energy to maintain them.
That's
So
another a lot of
Instagram in
work.
itself is a full-time job.
It's true. It's true. However, you are a little bit more diverse. It's one of my favorite things that I learned about you. Hey, tell me about the board game detective.
Yeah, so that's Jeremy. He has his own Instagram and blog, and he very kindly asked if I would like to have some of my posts on his blog. So he hosts both myself and A Tale of Two Meeples on his blog. And yeah, just like a mini sort of mini posts that he does for us.
How long have you been doing that with him?
That's a very good question. Maybe like 6 to 12 months now. I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, it's not too long. Yeah,
Yeah, you have it linked in your Instagram, and so I went to it, and I saw there was you and A Tale of Two Meeples, and I was like, okay, this is cool. And so I went straight to your About Us page, and but I couldn't figure out how long it had been going on and whatnot. Where else do you get inspiration for games that you decide to review? Like, how do you approach that?
I pretty much only review games that I enjoy. So yeah, um, if it's something that I've been liking and I want to share and I want to tell people, hey, this is a great game. Yeah. But also, I get a lot of inspiration from seeing other people's posts and how they do things. Um, and it encourages me to improve on what I'm doing. Yeah, just pushes me to be better.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really learning that this community is just very encouraging. And like, I feel like I've made a lot of new friends just in these past few weeks. And it's like, they're like, I'm getting the kind of encouragement, because it can be very lonely sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of
Yeah.
the reasons that I like to do collaborations with people. Yeah. So I've got a couple of those sort of in the works at the moment as well.
Excellent. Excellent. So tell me, I've been asking this of everybody, and I know we kind of just talked about it, but what is the one thing that you see in the community that you absolutely love and that makes you proud to be a part of it?
I think the willingness, like the kindness and willingness to like help each other. Like I so often see like people asking questions and um like if people aren't sure of something, like so many people willing to jump in and like give an answer. And there's no like I'm not seeing the meanness that I see in a lot of other communities.
Mm,
Like I'm not afraid to ask a question in this community because I know, I'm not going to get a mean answer. I'm not going to get like
right.
terrible comments. um, yeah, I think that willingness to like be open about, I don't even have a good example, but yeah, yeah. If I had a question about how to do something, yeah, people would be very willing to explain.
And you probably have certain people that you lean on for certain types of questions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've started to realize, because we all have you know, so I'm reminded of, I think it's Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, right? There's a moment where Kirk turns to Spock and he's like, how are these trainees, how are they going to react, right? And Spock says, each according to his own gifts, right? So we, massively diverse community, we have our own gifts. And so, if I've got a technological question about my setup, I know there's someone I know who I would go to for that, for
Exactly. Yeah.
more content, or like, I have someone that I regularly go to after they watch an episode, and I'm like, how could I have made that better? you know.
hmm
Uh,
Yeah, when I was
so
just starting
yeah,
out with working with different distributors for who were sending me games, I had a lot of questions because I didn't know how it all worked. So I had people that I
right.
went to, and they were really
Yeah,
helpful and open and excited for me instead of they could have just said, you know, they could have gatekept and not wanted to share their information. But yeah, they were really open and helpful.
that's true. So you just recently got back from PAX Australia.
I did, yes.
Yeah. So how was that? And how many days is it? Where is it? How big is it? Right? Because
hmm
there's several. There's PAX Unplugged, which is in Philadelphia. There's PAX West. There's a lot of them,
hmm
and I don't know that they're
Yeah.
all the same size. Yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah. So I don't know the numbers this year, but I know
Okay.
last year was about 80,000 people across all three
Whoa.
days. Yep.
Wow.
So
Very big. That's Gen Con big, like which is the largest in the US, and it hovers just shy of 80,000. So I had no idea.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's around that numbers. So
Okay.
yeah. And then it's in Melbourne, like in Melbourne itself, and it's across 3 days. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Friday and the Saturday are longer days, so 10 a.m. till I think 11 p.m. The Saturday's 10 till 6, and it covers like so much of gaming, so your console, your PC, board games, um, war gaming, card gaming, you name it, it's probably there.
So there's a big vendor hall where you can go and buy.
Yes.
Is there also a large open gaming area where you can just go play?
Yeah. So there's free play. There's also like demos. There's also a collaboratory, which is local designers come in and show you games that haven't been published yet they're working on,
For
which is really cool to
playtesting?
see. So we spent our Saturday basically going around and playing games in the collaboratory.
Okay.
And then, yeah, you've got your uh, board game shops where you can go and buy the latest and greatest games. You've got like accessories, like if you want to buy LARP gear or that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then you've got your expo hall where you can go and play demos of video games or like the fun little things where you can
Right.
win prizes. Yeah.
Is it always in the same location every year?
Yeah. So the
Okay.
first year it was in a different location, but it wasn't a great location. So they moved to a better
Okay.
one.
And if I recall, Friday you didn't get to play any games.
No, we played like
No,
two games, and yeah, we didn't get to sit down and play until after. I think it
but
was like 3:30 or
play.
something.
You did get to play a lot of games on Saturday to make up for it, which you
Yeah,
posted about. So
yeah.
I saw your post. I don't want to hear about that. I want you to tell me about Friday. What did you do? How did you spend your day on Friday that you didn't get to play any games? Like, what was that day like for you?
So I actually met up with Stella of um, yeah,
Meeple
Meeple University,
University? Yeah.
and we spent most of the morning just walking around um, the vending hall, chatting to people, meeting a bunch of different people. She introduced me to some people that I hadn't met before. So that's one of the other big things about the convention that you get to do is like meet people, see people that you've like met in the past.
Right.
So that's another big thing that I like to do there.
Yeah.
Um, and I always remind myself after I go to PAX every year that like it's not always just about the games because I often feel like, oh, I didn't get to play every game that I wanted to play, and I have to remind myself when I get home. But I also got to see a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you get to meet Ascadelia from All Play?
I did, yeah, very briefly on the Friday
Good.
morning. Yeah. Yeah, she was
Good for
lovely.
you. She has been so busy. She is a content creator that I reached out to join the series, and she's just so busy. She hasn't,
hmm
hasn't had time yet. But hopefully we will get her on the podcast. forthwith.
Yeah.
But
She's so lovely.
she
Yeah.
posted a lot. I saw a lot of her content from PAX Australia. So it
Hmm.
was just, so I'm glad you got to meet her and you got to hang out with everybody and see new people as well as old friends that you only get to see once a year, probably. That's kind of how
Yeah.
our
Yep.
conventions go.
Yeah. My PAX buddies.
Yeah. How far away is the convention hall from where you live? Like, is that is that a really quick drive? Do you have to go and get a hotel in Melbourne or are you able to stay home? How does that work?
It's about an hour, so
Okay.
depends on the traffic. So like an hour and 20. So I drove in every day this year,
Sure.
which was
Yep.
a choice.
No, I mean,
Yeah, but
that's where the real
it was nice to have my
expense
own bed.
is. Yeah. That is probably the biggest expense that makes these big conventions so cost prohibitive. It's not the convention itself, it's the lodging.
Yeah,
It's
I mean it's nice
crazy.
to stay local, but yeah, agree.
Yeah.
The cost to stay local is a bit much.
So, what if you've got a friend in Melbourne or anywheres in Australia or just anywheres in general? It doesn't really matter, but they reach out to you on Instagram or whatever, and they want to start making content and being a content creator. What advice do you have for someone wanting to join our community and diving into this?
I guess I would say like it doesn't need to be perfect. Like I spend a lot of time trying to make my posts as perfect as possible because I spend a lot of time worried about like how I present myself online. But I also find that the posts that do the best um, are the posts that I spend the least amount of time on. I'd say just have fun with it and try not to stress about what everyone else is doing because I do see a lot of like people, the mental health side of things getting to people with the comparison of, well, this person like has so much better pictures or videos or whatever, but you'll get there. It's time and practice and yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Simple and
Hmm.
succinct. That is there are no truer words spoken, you know? And that's definitely advice I need to take in my own
Hmm.
right, to be honest. Sometimes you do get caught up in, oh, well, you see that reel that Ree made? Man, I gotta step up my game, or
Yeah.
it's it's a thing. Take
And
care of
remember
yourself.
why you're doing it too. Yeah. Because I'm here for the
Exactly.
community and sometimes it's easy to forget that.
Well, I gotta say, you're in a lot of trouble now because you have a new friend in the middle of the United States who's gonna check in on you constantly. Be like,
Perfect.
hey, how are you? What's going on? Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm always checking in on folks, and I just feel so bad that I let so much time go between chats, and then what Instagram is becoming a real challenge for keeping track because as our followers grow, the number of followers grows,
Hmm.
those messages get buried, you know? Like sometimes I'll tell you what I suffer from because we all have our different hangups, and how it affects our mental health. For me, I send you a message and you don't get back to me for months. I get into my own head and I'm like, what did I do wrong? What did I say? What did I do? Did I say something in my last post? Nope, nope. Did I say something on the podcast that was offensive? I that's immediately I go to what did I do wrong? You know,
Yeah, it's hard.
we're just busy
Yeah. Yeah.
and we're diverse and there's a
Yeah.
lot of us.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. And we got to remember people have lives outside of Instagram too.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. So tell everyone where they can find you if they wanted to reach out to you and just have a chat or, play a game online through BGA. I know you do that,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, tell everybody where they can reach you.
Yeah. So the best place to find me is on Instagram. I'm bored all the time. I'm also on BGA or Board Game Arena, and I'm bored all the time there as well. So yeah, always happy to play a game.
Well, Ree, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you so much
Um,
for
I,
having me.
I'm really grateful and very appreciative to you. Guys, please, 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 please like and subscribe to the channel. Trying to make that YouTube channel go. We hit our 1 year goal. I was just reminded today, YouTube reminded me that it was 1 year ago today at the time of recording, not at the time of you listening to this, that it's been 1 year since our very first video on YouTube. So that's kind of cool in its own right, you know? Um, and just remember, guys, be kind to each other and let's play more games.
Let's do it.